Hello and welcome to How Do I Homeschool? My name is Rebecca Devitt and today we're going to be talking about how to homeschool while working full-time. Now there are a lot of misconceptions about homeschooling, that you can't homeschool while working full-time, for example. But that's not true. I know many homeschool mothers who are working full-time and homeschooling their children successfully. Indeed, there are a lot of stay-at-home mums who do blogging, such as myself, or who are virtual assistants, or who have another online business which they run while homeschooling. Because homeschooling is so flexible, you can do your work at other hours, or you can even homeschool at other hours while fitting in different activities on the side. Now keep in mind that homeschooling very young children is a lot harder than homeschooling older children who you can sit down at a computer, perhaps with an online homeschooling curriculum, and they can just do it themselves. But homeschooling younger children requires a lot more time. So as you can see, it's much easier to homeschool while working full-time with teenagers than it is to homeschool and work full-time with toddlers. The first tip I have for you is to plan your homeschooling around your work. And so what this would mean is that you look at your work and say, okay, I have Zoom meetings and I have this work that absolutely needs to get done at this time. And then you plan your homeschool around that. Now you may not be able to give any time Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. to your children, but you can homeschool them either side of that or on the weekends. You could fit it in there. For my father, who taught us many of our homeschooling lessons, he worked night shift, and so what he would do is he would sleep up until the afternoon, and then he would often give us our homeschool lessons in the afternoon. It's definitely worthwhile at this point also investing in a planner which can help you decide which times will be good for homeschooling and which times won't. It's also good to think about when you could also fit some childcare in there just for your sanity. So have a look at your planner again and put in some areas where you could put childcare in, just so you could get a break or have some time to get your work done without the children around. This is really important, especially for people with toddlers. Now the next thing I'm going to say is going to convince you that you can definitely work full-time and homeschool your children. And that is that most homeschooling families only homeschool for 2 to 3 hours every day. And so that means you only need a few hours a day to effectively homeschool them. Make the most of your free time and try and fit in a homeschool lesson here and there. When you go shopping with your children, do mathematics on the groceries that you buy. How much will this cost if it costs this much per kilo? How much will that cost if we get 3 of them at that price? Make homeschooling fun. And if you make homeschooling fun, your children are sure to learn more and enjoy the experience. Another way to get a nice break during the day is to hire a tutor. Now you could do this within a larger homeschooling co-op, and you could send your children to the co-op to be schooled there, or you could have a tutor come to your house, and perhaps to lower costs, you could invite other homeschooling families to be taught by the tutor at your house. We did this with a French tutor and a Latin tutor who did both, by the way, and she also taught other subjects, and so that lowered the cost. And if you're working full-time and homeschooling, you can sneak off into a back corner perhaps while another homeschool mum oversees the tutor and the children, and you could do a bit of work and fit that in also. Now one massive big thing that's going to make a huge difference as to whether you're going to be able to homeschool and work full-time is the curriculum you pick. Some of them are as easy as open and go workbooks where your children just homeschool themselves. Once they're able to read, they can just go for it. Accelerated Christian Education has a package like this, and the children just get it in the mail and then they open the workbook, they do them Every 2 months they might do a workbook, finish that and do another one, and it's all self-paced, so the child learns to become a lifelong learner. I think Life Pack is very similar to that, and they offer another curriculum which is just open and go. But if you get something like Horizons, which is a little bit more difficult and very much requires a teacher to teach the subject, then that's going to be a lot more hands-on and much more difficult if you're planning on working full-time while homeschooling. A curriculum recommendation for you if you are homeschooling and working full-time is the BJU curriculum. Now they have a teach it yourself option, which is quite parent-led, and so the parents end up doing a lot of the teaching, but they also have a program where the BJU teachers can teach your children online, and the children can ask the BJU teachers questions, and it's really good. You don't have to be there. Perhaps you could be doing your work on the other side of the table and your child is being taught by BJU teachers on the other side of the table. I will leave a link to that in the description box below, and that will make your homeschool a lot easier. The last tip I have for you is to have a look at a new job. There are so many jobs out there, and some work well and leave you lots of free time and aren't stressful, and others are really stressful and can be really hard to do. So if you have that luxury, go ahead and look for a new job, one that you can do while homeschooling and working full time. And of course, piggybacking on this, perhaps you consider going to part-time hours if that is an option for you. I hope you found this video really helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.